it's a rainy day and you walk into a home and there are major water issues with water pouring into the basement. There is an HGTV worthy home, fabulous kitchen and baths, but the structure is held up by these metal beams. When you go to the basement, you see the beams, and apparently a structural engineer has recommended this for this old property. There is a beautiful, light and airy home, needs a little TLC, but you're worried that about backing out of the driveway because it's a very busy road, and you're worried about leaving your pets unattended, in case they run into the traffic. Which do you think that my buyers picked out of the 3 choices? Well, the answer is none. When I talk to my buyers about compromising, yes, the budget doesn't go too far, and you're going to make some compromises. You want to compromise on things that can be fixed later. You don't want to buy a location which is not safe. We had seen another property where the neighborhood wasn't quite, right for them. This is a success story about having lots of conversations between the realtor and the client. These were my past clients who had bought a condo way back when. They were very young and just starting out, and they chose to buy instead of renting, which turned out to be a fabulous decision for them because now the condo had appreciated in value. This was in Goshen Valley in Westchester off Route 3, and it is a beautiful, beautiful property. They had updated it a little. They made some minor, paint and flooring updates to the property, but they had some tremendous equity that they had built as a result of, the market being so strong. So they wanted to buy and sell at the same time. We knew that the home would sell in a weekend. It was a quick sale. We understood that. But the question was, what can they buy? And they wanted the commutes to work for both of them. And they had this wonderful, gentle giant, their dog, the Bernese mountain dog, Moose, who wanted a backyard. So he had been a little cramped in the condo, and they really, really wanted that backyard for him. And I don't blame them. They wanted a single family in Delaware County, which would be good for both the commutes as well. So these buyers are so savvy. They talked to me. We had several Zoom calls. We started the conversations about 6 to 8 months before they actually bought and sold. We talked about the seasonality of the market. We talked about what locations they wanted to consider for their respective jobs. We talked about budgets. We talked about buying first versus selling first and the pros and cons of each of them, and what the market was doing, more importantly, because to get a home sale contingent offer accepted was tough. So a lot of folks don't understand this. There is a home sale contingency and there is a home settlement contingency, which means that you're already under contract and you've lined up all your ducks in a row, and now you're just waiting for the mortgage process, and you've tied all the loose ends, and you know that you're definitely going to settle. Folks, this is a success story about the clients who executed this successfully. They listened to me, they did their own research. It is just so humbling when such smart people take your advice and things happen just right for them. When we had to put an offer, I chose, even the realtor who's listed the home matters. It matters how competitive that property is. They had another offer, but that realtor chose our offer because I had made an offer which was so airtight that I didn't leave anything untouched for the seller to worry about. I had done some deals with that listing agent before, and he knew me, and he basically endorsed my clients to his sellers saying, I worked with Bela before. I know that this one's going to go through. I know that they have to sell their home. He looked at the pictures of the home. He looked at the contract. We were under contract and what price. He talked to the buyer's agent on the home that was listed for sale and under contract. So he also did all his due diligence, and we had a very successful transaction. Very rarely do I have both the buyer's agent and the seller's agent making things work, and it is always a pleasure to work with professionals like that, and we make it happen for our clients and make it stress-free and smooth for them. So this was a story about selling first, buying later, knowing what to buy, knowing which homes to avoid, understanding your limitations, and making it happen. There's another caveat to this story. This one had knob and tube electric. So the one thing that we were worried about is that the buyers would have to update this knob and tube because insurance fees are really high when you have knob and tube. They did it. It cost them a little more than what we had imagined it was going to cost, but overall, I'd rather they didn't compromise on the location. This home is in a lovely neighborhood. It's a very quiet street and a very friendly and family-friendly atmosphere. The yard is to die for, totally flat and really fenced in and perfect for moose. And that location was a very safe one and really equidistant for both their commutes. So win-win, folks. That was my success story. I hope you liked it. Check out my playlist of success stories. I always share all the wonderful things that I learned from every deal of my clients, and I like to share them. They're the most favorite kind of videos I like to make. Subscribe to my channel and follow for more.